Buy my book, The Colorful Conscience, now available on Amazon.com and BarnesandNoble.com for $13 and on Lulu.com for $9.75. Click the buttons on the video or the links in the description below. And you just have to see it for yourself, man. But that said, there is supposed to be, after the Truth mission, which is episode 48, there is supposed to be a final mission, which is mission 51, the Kingdom of the Flies. Now, if you watch my unboxing video, which you should, because it's hilarious, you'll see that Kingdom of the Flies actually comes on a bonus disc. And it's not the actual mission, it's a video of it. You can watch the video on YouTube, and it basically shows a bunch of unfinished cutscenes with full voicing and stuff like that of what the mission would go about as. And it shows concept art and everything. That's unsatisfying. So basically, Metal Gear Solid 5 is not finished, because that last mission contains the very last few plot threads that needed to be tied up in Metal Gear Solid 5. And the fact that it's not included on the disc, and some people didn't even have access to it because they didn't get the bonus version. I got the bonus version. I saw one website that kind of downplayed it as, oh, it's not really critical and it's not really a big deal, blah, blah, blah. It kind of is, though, because it just had all these plot threads, and that was the last remaining plot thread that needed to be tied up. I was like, what happened to this character? And we're like, when am I going to fight him? Blah, blah, blah. And then it turns out that actually you don't get to fight him because that mission's not in the game. So this is my biggest problem with the game. The fact that the final mission, episode 51 or mission 51, is not included, and it's incomplete. And I don't think it's a problem of Konami or Kojima Productions getting greedy. In some other instances, like Capcom and other companies in the past, they'll have DLC perfectly ready and available and on the disc by the time the game ships, and then they'll block it off and make you pay for the DLC or something like that. I don't think it's that case. I think it's the case of they had a deadline to keep and they didn't keep it, and they needed more, or they wouldn't have kept it, and they needed more time to finish the last mission. And Konami just didn't give them the time. And the reason why I think this is the case is because they show in the video all these cutscenes and everything with the 3D backgrounds not completely rendered in. Sometimes the characters' mouths don't even move, so the facial capture isn't really there. And not all the voice acting is actually in there, and they show a bunch of concept art instead of actually, letting you see the world and everything. Why would they show incomplete video if the thing was completed, It doesn't make any sense. They would have just put it on the game. Especially, I think Kojima would have just put it on the game. So it doesn't make any sense that they would do that if it was actually completed or near completed. So I think, it's really frustrating to not have it on the game. You paid the money for it, you went through all this thing, and you just want the final plot thread to tie up. Especially since this is the last game. You want the final plot thread to be there and to be done and over with. And it's something about, it's just unsatisfying. Like, the video shows you how it would have played out and how everything goes, but there's something about not being able to play it and not having it on the disc that makes it incredibly unsatisfying. So here's my message to Hideo Kojima, who's my hero, by the way, and the Metal Gear team, the Fox team. Please finish Kingdom of the Flies, finish the final episode of Metal Gear Solid 5, The Phantom Pain, and release it as a patch, a free patch to put into the game, or even if it's not free, incredibly cheap. But please release it to put it in the game, because I'm sure your fans want to play it. They want to have the complete game, especially those people who don't have the bonus disc and who couldn't watch it on their own and had to go to YouTube or something. So That's my message, because even though I know how it plays out, I still want to play it for myself. It's not satisfying enough for me to, just watch it. And it feels like the game kind of ends abruptly. It's something about the physicality of it, too, about having to put in another disc just to see the ending. That's not cool. It's not like Metal Gear Solid, the original, where you have to put in another disc to play the ending of the game. So that's pretty much it. I mean, that's the main thing. I really beg of you, Metal Gear team, Hideo Kojima, please finish Kingdom of the Flies and release it. Put it as a patch onto Metal Gear Solid 5, The Phantom Pain. And I have no doubt that they will, because I remember a few years ago, they patched Metal Gear Solid 4 and put on a bunch of trophies and other stuff like that way after the game's life cycle was over. So that's amazing that they did that. I have no doubt that, the team behind this is just, they want to put out the best product possible, and I want to believe that the reason that it's not on the game is because they had to release it, and they had no other choice, and they were, their back was against the wall. So I just beg, as a huge fan of the series, and someone who's grown up with Metal Gear, and who just feels like this one ended, even though it blew my mind, it still ended a bit abruptly. Because that final mission, those final plot threads weren't tied up, the final mission wasn't there. I beg that you guys release Kingdom of the Flies once it's completed. Don't cut any corners, please. Just complete it thoroughly, make sure everything's done, and release it as a free patch for your fans. Metal Gear Solid 5 has solidified its place as my favorite game of all time. So if you haven't checked it out, if you're a fan of stealth shooters and other stuff like that, action, adventure, stealth games, definitely pick up Metal Gear. It'll be one of the most fun games you've ever played. Even if you don't get into the storyline, the gameplay is more than enough to keep you hooked. So thank you for watching, guys. Have a good one. And this has been Ragnarok Hybrid Revived with Metal Gear Solid 5, The Phantom Pain review. See you later.